Security ang isa sa main concerns in doing business. When it comes to data security, SecureMetric has been keeping businesses safe for more than a decade. Before we look into their offered services, first, let's learn the basics of data security. For businesses looking for a trusted security system provider, here with us today is Mr. Chin Wan from SecureMetric. So tell us first, what is PKI?
PKI is also short for Public Key Infrastructure. It is actually a set of crypto ecosystem where there's human, there's policies, there's IT technology, there's cryptography, all into one ecosystem that eventually provides a secure infrastructure for a system of IT system to be in, so that transactions can be done, especially online, very securely. A way to do transactions online, especially on the internet. There are four basic functions in PKI. The first one is to give the internet user an identity. That is actually what we call authentication. So you authenticate the user online. The second one is also to give the user the ability to do transaction online by signing documents electronically. That's what we call digital signature. Okay. And the third one is actually to give the user strong security and privacy, which means you give strong cryptography or encryption to the user. So when they do transaction online, nobody else knows or nobody else can listen to the transaction except for the intended end party and the user. Right? And the fourth, last one is actually to give a legal framework to both parties doing the transaction online. So in the Philippines, you already have the law that is supported by the EO 810 and E-Commerce Act of 2000. So with that now, Philippines have developed the PKI, what we call public key infrastructure, using the Philippine National PKI. So if you go to Google and you search for PNPKI, you will see that the Philippines now have the infrastructure in place, as well as the law in place for electronic transactions to be done online.
So what are the uses of PKI?
PKI actually provides the four pillar of trust that is required to be done when you do online transactions. The first one is the confidentiality, the second one is authenticity, the third one is integrity, and finally the most important one is non-repudiation. This means that with PKI now, when you do a transaction online, it is legally binding. Both parties knows who they are dealing with, even though they have not met face to face. In our modern society, we often do transaction, or we do online transaction online without even meeting face to face. Like I could be chatting with you on Facebook and I've not met you before, or I could be doing transaction with the bank even though I don't go to the bank at all. Sometimes you even do transaction between people and machines, or simply between machines and machines. So a very good example is when you go to the ATM, or if you do electronic wire transfer, maybe e-insurance filing or tax filing in BIR especially, right? So these transactions all require strong confidentiality and authentication to be performed. If not, there's no trust between both parties, between me and the bank, or between me and the government. This could lead to a lot of fraud and theft, right? So we don't expect everyone in the cyberspace to trust the bank, to trust the government. So what we want to provide is that to provide proof to say that you are you online. If not, how can the government or the bank verify that you are online, that it's you, that you are legit? It is actually a way of giving you an ID, a photo ID. When you go to, when I come in here today, I have to give my photo ID to the security guard. It's the same thing. With PKI now, you have an online ID that you can give. Yes, it's a virtual ID that you can give to the bank, to the government, to say that you are you. So that's what PKI is actually used for.
So what are the benefits of using PKI?
So with PKI now, we can establish trust between two parties over the internet, right? Again, I've not met you face to face, but now once I have your PKI digital certificate, I can trust you online. Transactions that previously have to be done face-to-face can now be done online. So what is the benefits of doing things online? For example, a good example is online banking. Before online banking, you have to go to the bank, fight the traffic, look for a parking space, wait in line just to do your banking transaction. Nowadays, like for me personally, I only go to the bank branch I think once a year. The rest of the time, I just do it online. Right? Another example is like for example in Malaysia, every end of March 31st before PKI, there was no e-filing of the income tax. So end of the March is the deadline. 1st of April is the deadline. So the 31st of March, you will see a long queue at the tax office where people will line up just to submit the forms. But nowadays, so nowadays in Malaysia you don't see that anymore because everybody has a digital certificate and they can do their e-filing of income tax online. So with that, actually I get my income tax refund more quickly. Previously it was check. I have to wait 6 months, but now it's less than a month. I get back my money if there's extra money. So those are some of the benefits. We do things online at home with your comfort. You don't have to fight the traffic, don't have to find the parking space and all that. So those are some of it.
So why is PKI a trusted security system?
To be a secure system, you need cryptography. Okay, so cryptography is actually a method of transforming readable data into unreadable data, and then finally to a readable data to the end party. Right. So this is actually to encrypt the data so that the data that reaches to the end user is intended for the end user only. So let's say I want to tell you a secret, right? I need to encrypt my data and then send you the email because, as you know, email is not safe.
Yes.
Everybody can read your email. So what I need to do is I need to type the emails, encrypt it, and then send it to you. Then you can decrypt it. So there is two ways of encrypting data. Right? One is symmetric, which means you have the same key as I have the same key. That means we have the same password. Right? That is symmetric. Then there is the other asymmetric one. Asymmetric is more secure. Because for symmetric, you have the same key, I have the same key. When I share the same key with you or the same password with you, what if third person is listening and they know the secret password? That means they also can access and decrypt your email. But for asymmetric, that means you have a different secret key, I have a different secret key. And with that secret key, I do not have to worry about the third party listening because your key is different from my key. Only you have your secret key that can decrypt the messages that I write. So that is actually the basis of encryption. To be a strong encryption, PKI provides the asymmetric key encryption. That means I don't have to share a common key with you, and that's why it's very secure.
In what industry is PKI most sought after?
From our experience, the first adopter of PKI is usually the government and the banks. Right, but there's also other industries such as the telecommunications and manufacturing. For example, LTE 4G?
Yes.
That uses PKI security. So that means when you access internet on your phone using LTE, you are using a PKI secured infrastructure.
Yan ang basics ng data security at ang mga negosyo na pwedeng mag-benefit sa ganitong produkto at serbisyo.